And Ghana is a crime scene, actually, because how a government can have been so reckless, I cannot understand. But we're faced with a reality, and our options are very few. We can behave like the ostrich and hide our heads in the sand and let the economy crash. But then what effect would it have on Ghanaian households and everybody?
What is the difference between the ordinary thief and a political thief? Number one, the ordinary thief steals your money, your bag, your watch, and your jewelry, isn't it? But the political thief steals your future, your career, your education, your health, and your business. Number two, the hilarious part is that the ordinary thief will choose whom to rob. But you are the one who choose the political thief to rob you. Because we choose them. We vote them. We blindly say we are not blind. Who is deceiving who? The ridiculous part of the whole issue is that we will fight to defend and protect our belongings from the ordinary thief. Is it not? But we fight each other to defend and protect the political thief. Is that not what we do? Thugs will be fighting themselves to protect those that are stealing our career, stealing our job, stealing our health, stealing our success. What a shame.
Government is broke, government is broke. The people are spending billions to go inside the government that is broke. Have you ever seen a minister who resigned because government is broke before? Government has no money. Have you ever seen a governor who said, ladies and gentlemen, when I was elected, I thought the government had money. Now I discover government has no money, I resign. Have you ever seen it? Government has no money, but they are bringing money out at election time. Where is that money coming from? So they are lying. What is happening is that there are two types of wicked people in government. Type one, they eat current money. Any money they find in government, they will eat it. They are wicked about that one. There is type two. Type two, they eat current money and future money. They will say, my term will end next year. When I leave, how will I eat money? Let me borrow money now and borrow money of the future and eat it now.
All right, a very good morning to you and you're welcome to the program. It's the 25th of February 2025. This is Good Morning Ghana and you're most welcome to the program. We thank God for giving us here today again to go through the matters of the country. And we'll first glance through the headlines of the newspapers. Start off with the Daily Graphic. Daily Graphic says government determined to win Galamsey war. Minister. Port charges to be reduced, taxes, duties, levies targeted. Minister, AGI ready to partner government on 24-hour economy. Will prioritize low-cost housing for workers. John Bauer. Ghanaian Times, make Council of States active, VIP charges members. Invest in technology to drive productivity. Professor Boateng. Rainstorm hits Mampong, renders dozens homeless. Minerals Commission increases effort to tackle Galamsey boosts mining oversight. Daily Guide. NIB invites Joe Garte for questioning. Dom Kwabenya NPP denies role in defeat. Dom Kwabenya NPP denies role in defeat. Agenda 111, $1.7 billion needed to complete projects. Bahama. Scrap dealer steals 200 cooking pots. This is disturbing, situation of scrap dealers and their activities, right? Yesterday, somebody sent me pictures. Today, I'll try and put them on the screen for you to see how when constructions are done, they are going around, they are following the contractors, as and when they are done with this drainage and covered with a metal railing or metal something mesh, they decide to break the concrete and remove them. So sometimes you have holes. Maybe the pictures are there, the producers can put them on. The holes, you know, on the pathway, on the road where you walk. If you're walking with a kid and you're not careful, your child might slide into these openings. So please be watching around and see where you walk with your children, because the scrap dealers are really, really, unfortunately, acting very, very, for want of a better expression, stupid. So once that's one of the the picture on your screen. This is the work of scrap dealers. I'm not sure how you know, the local assembly can monitor these activities and stop the scrap dealers from, you know, continuing with these acts. It's just crazy. It's crazy. I can understand that maybe my level of thinking is different from their level of thinking, for want of better expression. Excuse me if I'm being disrespectful, but I really want to believe that they do not appreciate the dangers they're putting us through by carrying out these acts. So local assembly will have to do a lot of work. NCC will have to do a lot of work on education and, you know, control these activities. I'm not sure where these areas were, where the people who sent me the pictures. You can probably help me to understand where or to identify these areas so that authorities can follow up. But this is what's happening. Scrap dealers and their activities. They are stealing cooking pots as well from people's homes. The new crusading guide, Focus and Fulfill Your Promises, Afenyo marking to NDC. Dom Kwabenya NPP denies deleting delegates from album. Lawyers of Vision FC boss writes to crusading guide but fails to address substantive issues. Tourism Minister congratulates Mauko Kwaji for being first African Artworks Award winner. Okay, and then we have also at the top right corner, $1.7 billion needed to complete Agenda 111 hospitals. The Inside newspaper renamed Kotoka International Airport after Nkrumah. SMG demands justice for Ghana's first president. Lutheran Church outdoors state-of-the-art facilities at Anyas Luther Tower Complex. 4 Denchra families sets the record straight on rightful landowners. Why we oppose the privatization of ECG. TUC pool outline stance. NPA boss affirms government's commitment to ensure seamless implementation of CRM. The Ghanaian publisher, Ashanti NPP MP set record straight. No data loss after ICUM's upgrade, Ghana Link. And then Mincom decentralizes operations to enhance oversight. Chieftaincy dispute rocks Gomwa Importa. Okay, so with this decentralization activity of Mincom, if you remember, Mr. Isi was on this platform sharing with us some of the buildings or the structures they've put up in other regions to monitor the activities of the Minerals Commission. I'm sure some of these buildings are ready, which is why it's enhancing the decentralization operation. Well, Daily Post, NIA begins free issuance of Ghana card at 276 operational district offices. Only one Agenda 111 hospital was completed by Akufo-Addo. President Mahama. NPA boss affirms government's commitment to ensure seamless implementation of CRM. Metrolens. No data loss in ICUMS system upgrade. Ghana Link reassures stakeholders. Atuesian suffered Kenuforiata's punitive policy lawyer. Dom Kwabenya NPP denies allegations of delegates list tampering. Minority condemns Mahama's use of state institutions to prosecute opponents. The Searchlight, the Daily Searchlight. Mahama's Gestapo goes after Joe Garte. Dr. Zachary Mumuni appointed as first deputy governor of BOG. cocoa smuggling caught, cocoa board GRA, foil cocoa smuggling attempt to Togo border. Transport Minister assures Shippers Authority of support to retain shipping lines. Tax in forest water bodies. We are coming for you, Ama Kofiboa. Okay, so he's on a tour with the Ashanti Regional Minister. Business and Financial Times, 2025 budgets, industry leadership push for tax reforms, forex stability measures. No data loss in ICOMS system upgrade. Ghana Link. Southern Chiefs endorsed Dr. Asiama's appointment as BOG governor. 2024 our economy agenda. We have import substitution, enhanced support for manufacturers, non-negotiable, AGI. And then Economic Times. Economic Times, 2025 budget temporary freeze on public sector employment expected as Mahama instructs expenditure cuts. National Economic Dialogue to guide Ghana's medium-term post-IMF strategies. Labour experts disagree on public sector minimum wage increment rates. All right, that's it for the headlines this morning. Let's take a breather. I'll be back shortly.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fat missy way.
The Pacho Bantama.
Matias.
That's a cycle.
It's her smile.
The fresh breath.
Me, Jidi said we use Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind.
Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim Jom Kasa. Cal 360 better way. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
And you will see so feeling to Kawan in Cal 360 toothpaste.
Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Sometimes the unexpected happens and the hero falls down in his own story. But he needs not stay down for long. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance is your trusted health partner. Whether an individual building a business, with Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern. For the best health insurance solutions for corporate institutions, groups and associations, families and individuals, choose Cosmopolitan Health Insurance from our over 700 accredited health service providers nationwide. Call us on 0302 540 668 or 0501 678 547 for all your health insurance solutions. Cosmopolitan Health Insurance, your medical care is our concern.
In an era where fire safety is paramount, Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited stands out as a leader in the development of innovative fire dousing solutions. With a focus on aqueous film forming foam, the company provides a cutting-edge product that significantly enhances fire suppression capabilities across various sectors, including maritime, industrial and emergency response.
The oil and gas sector, along with chemical manufacturing facilities and fire services.
Kabori Kabori's advanced film technology offers a more efficient and environmentally responsible alternative.
Kabori is recognized for its superior extinguishing capabilities and prolonged resistance to reignition. Kabori's product is certified by the Ghana National Fire Service, the Ghana Standards Authority, the Environmental Protection Agency, and the Nigerian Standards Organization.
Kabori Film Compound Limited is situated in Nsawam within the eastern region of Ghana. For inquiries, reach out to them on 0245-885-288 or 0244-514-048. You may also contact them via email at info@kaborifilm.com. Kabori Film Compound Technologies Limited, providing film compound solutions to help institutions.
Ama, nansi mi general well-being enkoye kwao. Ama ma ye bohu se kuntomra akija.
Nansi me hu se mi nyo basi makura. Ama mi kuni mi into kwankwa. Oh you right. Enye mo ko. Give us GC lecture and any capsules. Aye num boom. En ho asem na mo kana. E bua emma ene meme nyina. Na ma wo ba ye obesima. Na be ma so aye be masima. Ya, we be bua wuku. Ama ne giant sa wo de hye ne botum. Na wanyinya na ninti sese ni oyi chokmo na.
Give us heba. Give us heba. Give us heba.
Give us GC mixture and then a capsule. Achesa.
A pin for a batter, one more menu for one and Quada when you feel to me.
Look around.
Home also need a makeover.
Mine clearly does. So we went to Ashroom and found the Como collection. It had everything we're looking for and more. Merchant furniture for the entire home, designed with you in mind.
Where's Como collection? Dressing up is just a breeze. Always ready with a perfect accessory.
A magic dressing mirror. One look and you're ready to face the world. Or at least the kids.
A bed perfect for young men who want
a table that turns into a treasure chest.
And finally, a sofa with this grand TV unit for family time at home.
Head over to any Ashphone store now and discover the new Como collection. Ashphone, feel it, know it.
Brush, 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 brush your teeth. Brush, 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 2 times a day. Brush with Kel-Kit.
Hello, my friends. My name is Kel-Kit toothpaste.
Wow.
I was made to be gentle on your gum but protected. I will protect your teeth from cavity, make your teeth whiter, stronger, keep your mouth fresh all day. And best of all, I'm strawberry flavored. So put on a smile and try me.
That's amazing.
Just try me. That's my job.
If you say so, jump on my brush. Makes your teeth stronger, chicky chicky whiter, chicky chicky stronger. Yay! You did it!
I'm glad you like your new toothpaste. Don't forget to brush both day and night.
Kel-Kit. Happy smile.
Get ready for the ultimate celebration of business, empowerment, and community. Join Metro TV, Original FM, and Original TV from March 6th to March 8th as we proudly present the Queen's Conference and Business Fair, a 3-day event you won't want to miss. From 5th March, in honor of Independence Day, we kick off with an incredible small and medium-scale business exhibition, a chance for local entrepreneurs to showcase their business, connect and grow. Whether you are an aspiring business owner or an established brand, this is your stage to shine. On March 7th, get ready for a live music experience like no other. Our live band will keep the energy high as we celebrate the spirit of independence and innovation. March 8th, International Women's Day. We shining the spotlight on thought leadership with powerful discussions on the future of business in sanitation and youth development. Hear from experts, entrepreneurs, and change makers who are paving the way for a better tomorrow. The venue is at Bayview Village, Accra, near Atomic Roundabout. The dates from 6th March to 8th March. Time is 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. This is more than just a conference. It is a business movement, a celebration of independence, empowerment, and the bright future of business. Don't miss the Queen's Conference and Business Fair from March 6th to March 8th. Mark your calendars, invite your friends, and come ready to connect, learn, and grow.
All right, you're welcome to the program. It's Good Morning Ghana. Let me just remind you that we have Blue Gin still on the market. Blue Gin is a drink that has been on the Ghanaian market for 20 years, and we already know what it does for the body. It contains many vitamins and nutrients in it, like vitamin B2, B3, B6, B12, and as well as taurine and guarana, which are known to boost your strength and energy as well as promote high performance and endurance. Blue Gin's energy drink has been tested and tried, and we know, of course, what it does to the body as we testify that is indeed the best. Blue Gin's energy drink is for bold and active men and women. It also is in shops nationwide. For bulk purchase, you want to contact Budget Cash and Carry on 0208 128 190 or 0550 010000. Blue Gin's energy drink still on the market and very good for your system. Okay. So today, our guest, one is already with me in the studio. Okay, I think I have two videos of this gentleman I just want to introduce before I introduce him. Let's play those videos. He was making a statement on the floor of Parliament, and then before he won the tickets, to join his colleagues in the House, he also partook in certain activities. So let's play what he did in the constituency before he won, and then a statement he made on the floor. Then I will mention his name. So let's have those videos.
All doing well. Mr. Speaker, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity. Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan Yenji. Yes. Mr. Speaker, I rise to equally associate myself with the statements made by the Honorable Member Paul Mansour Nkwanta. Mr. Speaker, I start my submission with a rather sad note. Just yesterday, the President of the United States of America signed on his first day in office an executive instrument withdrawing the United States from the Paris Agreement. Mr. Speaker, we all know the role that the Paris Agreement plays in this whole effort of clean energy. Mr. Speaker, the global community met in 2016 and signed the Paris Agreement. And from this agreement, individual countries came out with their own NDCs, that is the nationally determined contributions. Mr. Speaker, the United States, being the leader of the free world, was expected to have led this rule towards ensuring the attainance of green energy. Unfortunately, yesterday, Mr. Speaker, the president of the U.S., Donald Trump, signed to withdraw from the said agreement. And that is rather disheartening. Mr. Speaker, locally, we cannot talk about green energy without commending His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. For the first time, Mr. Speaker, we have the president appointing a Minister of State, Climate Change and Sustainability. Mr. Speaker, there could not have been a better time to bring this matter to the fore than now. And it is so encouraging to learn that the president has thought it wise to create a whole ministry to look into this area. Mr. Speaker, there's no doubt that that is the future.
Is it a ministry or?
It's a ministry of
just
state.
A minister
of state. Sorry.
Yes. Okay.
Mr. Speaker, Ghana, we have witnessed our share of the devastating effects of having not to heed to these climate change issues. Just recently, we those from the north, we experienced the severest drought you can think of in recent history, where our farmers almost lost everything due to the changes in the climate conditions. Mr. Speaker, as a country, we have serious challenges in trying to adopt climate change, and these conditions or these challenges are put into two: financial and technological barriers, Mr. Speaker, and two, policy and regulatory barriers. In terms of the financial and political, Mr. Speaker, there's the upfront cost in adopting this technology is huge, which is why the state must play a lead role in this regard. Mr. Speaker, the financial options is equally very limited as a developing country, and so we need the hands of the state in leading this charge. Mr. Speaker.
So that's the gentleman that snatched the seat from Farouk Khalif Mahama. He's in the person of Abdul Fattah Al-Hassan, Esquire, and also Yendi MP. Welcome.
Thank you, Annie, and thank you for having me. And good morning to the good people of Yendi.
Did I surprise you?
You did. Actually, you should have sought my leave.
Oh my goodness.
Before,
no.
especially when you said some of the things I used to do before the elections, I was thinking you should things of my project.
No. Because of the question I want to ask, I wanted this one. You know, I can be funny sometimes.
That is it. This is why you took me off.
Did you buy votes?
Buy votes?
Yes.
Where would I even get the money to do so?
You don't have to use money to buy votes all the time. You have to use what you did on the screen.
I stood for it. You know,
You were pounding. Will you pound fufu for anybody at this time? What were you pounding?
Yeah, this was fufu we were pounding.
It was fufu?
Yeah.
So since you became MP, have you pounded fufu for anyone yet?
I've done a lot, even beyond that. I'm with the people all the time. You know, I came from the constituency just 2-3 days ago, and when I'm in the constituency, I do a lot of things. Sometimes some of these things come up because of the season you are in. You understand? We are now off the political season, so you don't have too much lenses on you. But during that period when everything was...
when we're off the political season, you refuse to see that there are activities like this.
And I'm telling you that I've been doing a lot of things like this, but just that those will escape the lenses of the cameras, especially because we are not in the season.
Okay. You're very welcome.
Thank you, Annie.
Very,
Thanks
very
for having me on your show.
Yes, we're glad to have you.
Good morning to my senior.
Richard Ahiagba, Communications Director for the MPP. A very good morning to you, and you're welcome.
Good morning.
Why the broad smile?
You put my brother on the spot.
I tell you.
I wish him well, but only for this time.
Why?
I'm not surprised.
Only for this term, because Yendi is coming back.
But you know, one good thing.
Yes.
One good thing.
Well, we will not complete that. But I wish him well. He fought a good fight. It was a tough seat. It
was actually a close, call.
I mean, it's a tough seat. It's a traditional seat, one that we shouldn't have lost, but we have lost it. commendations to him. He's worked enough to catch the eye of the good people of Yendi. I wish him well. He should serve them well. But just bear in mind that it's just a lease for 4 years.
Every MP has 4 years. I don't know any MP who has been...
But is it you have 4 years and potential to come back? But yours is effectively 4 years.
The potential is squashed.
And
I don't see anywhere in our constitution where there's that potential thing mentioned. It's 4 years. 4 years is 4 years.
Honorable,
Richard, you are speaking to a lawyer.
Yeah, I know.
You see what he's doing?
But if you ask
I don't see anywhere in the Constitution where
let's
there's a potential.
Let's have to see. He should know that
you're also a politician.
No, there's a potential to come back, whether it's in the Constitution or not. If you ask Honorable Aban Sumana Bagbin, who has been in Parliament for when it started till now, okay, that potential exists. How he managed to keep Nadoli. Nadoli is a seat that MPP have tried so hard to win, but he's got it. Yendi is one such seat, but unfortunately, for matters that are exclusively internal, he's got it.
I beg to differ.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But Yendi has largely been occupied by MPP most of the time.
I'm saying that on the occasion that he is won in, the matters.
It is used exclusively. It's the use of the term exclusively. That's what.
Well, that's from my perspective.
Anyway.
Yeah, my perspective. But of course, that is not to take anything away from your own victory, but to say that you were aided by that internal issue. Which for me was highly avoidable, but somehow we slept on the job on that one.
Yes, because I remember the struggle of Aliu Mahama during the internal.
Yes.
It's
painful. It's painful. But
that your brother got it.
No. It's painful that we couldn't deal with those matters. Then on the basis of that, he would have gone to an election with a full force of the MPP. With a united MPP. Then if he had won, then at this morning I'll be saluting him. But then to the extent that those issues undermine our effort, I just see that he benefited from that greatly. But that is not to take anything away from his victory. Well deserved, except that it will be one term. He might probably move to adopt maybe a seat somewhere. Zabzugu can go and contest me. You can go and depose your brother. But as for Yendi, you must declare that this is it. I'm going somewhere else, and then we'll come back because that seat, the New Patriotic Party must get.
Yeah, you've occupied it many times.
Yeah.
So, how do you see it, lawyer?
No,
how many times have you contested for that?
This was the second time.
This was the second time. Oh, okay.
I contested in 2020. Yes, and I lost to the same candidate, Farouk. The difference of over 16,000.
In 2020.
In 2020, and I came back, big to inshallah snatch it from him this time around. And so, but I had issues with Richard when he said exclusively because of the issues they had in their party. But later he came back to correct it.
Now, what's your opinion? Did you do? I'm not sure okay, I need to check. But exit polls that were conducted, did you check the trend? Or did you do your own exit polls?
I monitored. No, yes, internally a lot. In fact, even the percentage I had in mind, I fell short of it because of the last minute issues, monies and all those things. But even 3-4 months to the election, I knew inshallah I was winning the elections, and I had even projected to win by a bigger margin than I won. You understand?
Why?
Because of the work we did, and you see, if you go into an internal contest,
you're going to say because of the work you did. To acknowledge that and from internal. That's what I'm saying. No. You are just coming back.
But initially you used the word exclusive. That was why I had issues with you. But obviously, anytime as a politician, your opponent has some cracks in there.
Yeah, you exploit it.
You have to take advantage of it. Yeah. And I don't think you would ever have internal elections in Yendi in particular or any constituency that will not have internal issues. Maybe how you manage it is the issue. Yeah. But there will always be these internal matters after every primaries. You understand? But it's the way you manage it.
This was peculiar. This was peculiar.
You can say so.
Yeah, it was peculiar.
Yeah.
So what are some of the teething problems in Yendi?
Oh, we have, the biggest one is the water issue.
Water,
It's the biggest.
The Yendi water problem, I wonder.
It's I don't know.
What's the cause? Is it that we can't lay pipes, we can't connect them to the national supply, we don't have major water source? Or
it's a major, you know, we have always relied on the River Dakar.
River, yes.
And due to the issue I was talking about, the climate issues, it's almost dried up.
So the river is dried out due to the climate change?
Yes, partly because of that.
Partly because of that?
Yes.
What's the other cause?
You see, sometimes the population growth. You understand? You don't expect that the same river that used to serve us 60, 70 years ago would serve the same population and give them the same level of satisfaction.
Population has increased and all that.
And so a lot. The plan was to have OT, which runs through, it passes through a community with Kongani, is Yendi Zapsuko border. The plan was to develop that area. The water, that one has constant flow of water. You understand? The plan was to develop that area and then put up the Yendi water project over there to serve the people of Yendi, because it's just that village is almost the last town to Zapsugo. And so when you do that, you are serving the communities along that lane up to the Yendi township. I think monies were sought from the Exim Bank.
Yeah, there's a little challenge with
but I think parliamentary issues stalled the whole thing, so we're working on it. I've just
revived it.
Yes, we are trying to see. I don't know, the budget issues may even have to be looked at, because this was way back before.
So one can say that the water problem is not just a constituency level, maybe at your level, but it's a national. It will need a national muscle, I mean.
Yes, but Northern region has a much peculiar, because even Tamale has the same problem. Tamale has huge water issues, yes. And they are looking at getting it from another side, because we are closer to the Ngani community that I'm talking about, that is Sabari River. It's Oti that runs there. So we are closer to that area. So that's where we are looking at tapping from. But they are looking at Bupe side, which is in Savannah region. You understand? But we all have another region, we have that peculiar water issue which has to be addressed head on. And I'm happy, because almost every opportunity that the current president got during the time of his campaign to meet with Yana, he would hammer on this issue, because there was one issue he actually started. He started it. It was just in the early days of his of that project that he left office in 2016. MPP came and then they sought to continue the whole project, but for some reason it never got to see the light of day.
Dr. Clifford Brima has done quite a lot of work on that, even though he's from Savannah, essentially he's linked in Tamale and all of that. So he's done quite a lot of work on that. But then the challenges with funding, I think at one point I asked him and he mentioned something, but then there's
it was the DDEP issue, the whole debt exchange issue affected it. That was the explanation we got from our MPs here. When I tried to.
Okay, but I think you should talk to the new MD, Mutawakilu. What guidance he may have up-to-date information. But then what I can say is that there was a clear commitment. Dr. Brima was focused on trying to get it done, but then there were some intractable issues to do with it, which is held in. But then it's something that I believe ought to
yes, in this 4 years, inshallah, it will be done.
Is that a promise?
Yes. In fact, it's one of the major issues we promise the people of Yendi. In fact, that is not negotiable. That is not negotiable.
Did you campaign on that?
Yes, strongly.
You campaigned on that?
Even the president did. And he stood before Yana on a number of occasions.
I'm asking if you campaigned on that because
yes, I did.
Because of how we are trying to protect members of parliament from constituency developmental projects. Sometimes when you demand from them, they say it is not my work, it is this, it is that, but they forget that they campaigned on those issues.
No, that I will not run away from. I did campaign on that. And it was also because my flag bearer would always speak to that issue. He would always mention it. So when he comes to your concern, all he talks about is the water issue. How can you run away from that project?
But what other ideas do you have for that constituency? Because the northern part of this country, we've had the issue of it being more or less abandoned, poorly developed. Everything is down south, and every leader would talk about decentralization of trying to spread the work across, but it doesn't seem to be so progressive. It will not gel
because, you see, we are all looking, the job issues is a major problem aside this employment.
But do they have the capacity, if they are they want employment, what are the areas you think they can,
Most of them.
What are the common skills they exhibit?
Yes, you see, so you can look at tapping into the local industries.
Yes.
For instance, this smoke weaving industry. It's a major industry that.
How about share?
Yeah, that's for our women. Okay. To the extent that Yendi can be described as one of the biggest communities when it comes to share butter processing. But you can't have a single plant there. There's not even one, not even any community closer to Yendi.
So there's a possibility of a factory?
Yes, to help in the processing of
because you people have very mini localized factories.
Yeah.
When it comes to
mini ones,
yes,
that you can easily. Yes. Those are the things we should explore.
Yes.
And put the women, and most of them they do things on their own. So putting them into these cooperative societies, you understand, would enable them to actually benefit from some economies of scale. Because sometimes most of them, because of the low level of education, they tend to do things on their own individually, and that doesn't help. And so and that is why sometimes some of us, when we look at our manifesto, it has so much on putting these respective professions like the local, like smoke weavers, shea butter producers, almost all the local. You see that there's something tomato producers. There's some bit of something in our manifesto that talks about putting them together into cooperative societies, because that is the only way you can help them meaningfully. If you have to go individually, go and be helping them individually, that you will not make much impact. Because when they are put in that listen, they can even be able to access capital. You understand, from various institutions, our Women's Development Bank and all those other institutions. And so once the meat of the manifesto is brought out, I'm very sure there will be a lot of opportunities for them. So the job is one issue. One biggest issue is our women. The kind of trading they are involved in, petty trading, they need some kind of financial muscle. And that is why I'm also happy about this Women's Development Bank, because they need to be, usually the loans that they get it from these financial institutions, and they are getting it at cutthroat interest rates. That by the time they even finish paying one loan, in fact, they are scared of hearing anything.
Business women there?
Yeah,
they go for loans.
Sorry?
They go for loans.
The local, the small loans.
Small loans.
2,000 Ghana cedis, 5,000 Ghana cedis.
And even that they can't pay.
The rates at which, in fact, the interest rates are just at cutthroat rates. And it's scary. And so once they go for it for the first time, the next time you are talking to them about it, and even they default at very high rates. And so they are not qualified for the next this, and it makes that a little difficult. And sometimes what they are asking for is not much. Yeah. It's not much. And so these are things we are looking at.
There must be a system created administratively to support them. Like the cooperatives that you're talking about is good for the women in terms of processing share. Also, you're talking about your manifesto. There's all these promises you've made about agribusiness. There you need to intensify that. A big chunk of that would be investment in irrigation.
Yes,
because the rain pattern has been very erratic.
It's even worse now.
So agriculture, which is largely one of the key economic activities there, has been undermined given the drought recently. So that's something that has to be investing. But there are other areas that can be exploited. But definitely a share factory is one that can bring value, except that the NDC has been playing ostrich with the one district, one factory thing. They haven't been honest.
Did you put a factory in the north?
Sorry?
Did you put a factory in the north?
I'm not sure. There's a share factory somewhere, I think, in Savannah, which has some challenges, but I don't know about the one district, one factory share in Yendi. I don't know.
Not in Yendi, I can tell you for sure that there's none. Not even in my neighboring constituencies.
But that has to be a key focus for a government, really, to try and hold the economy, the local economy together. Really, the idea of one district, one factory, I think is great. I'm getting indication, I think, from the vetting yesterday, and people are indicating that they are not going to cancel it. They can give it a new name if that's what they want, but Ghana needs it. Our economy needs it so that we can get production and employment.
We have policies like, you have policies like industrialization.
Yes,
in your
manifesto. No government.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
no?
Yeah, but the concept of 1D, 1F is strategic, because then it forces you to think locally. You understand? But then you talk about industrialization, then it's more global, and your strategy, you are not sure. But this one is specific, it's clear, it's self-explanatory what you're trying to do. And so what I guess we need to do is the assemblies must work with the MPs to try and see what are our potential. There must be that clear directive from the executive to say that find opportunities. Of course, there was, I think, this whole research that was done across the country, I'm sure at some point under our administration, that pointed all the districts showing what areas they have comparative
I think I've seen that map
invest.
before.
That is something that we need, and put the assemblies to task to invest in some feasibility to see how those can be leveraged for economic activity in the area, so that migration.
What research was that?
It is to actually pinpoint every district
and
to
its
see
potential.
what potentials are there for investment. And if that is there, we should leverage it and task the assemblies to work on those things and see if they are viable to be invested in, and I think.
Except that I perfectly agree with you, especially when you said if you are looking at it from the level of, or from the point of industrialization, you are not being that focused on the rural areas, and so the 1D, 1F gives you that much focus. The other issue about the other challenge with having 1D, 1F is that you try to stretch yourself thin. You understand? You see, when you do that, then you are making every district feel that I must have a company or industry.
I also must
when
have
ideally, I would have suggested a concept like the one how we site our stadia. You understand? You look at this area, and you know that you can build stadia or stadium in each and every one of these community or constituencies. And so what you do is that you bring a lot of people together and you allocate one stadium at a strategic location that all of them can always utilize. And so even when you have drawn a map that has these constituencies or communities with their potential investment area in terms of 1D, 1F, you still can say that, okay, for purposes of funding or budget constraints, or for reasons of budget constraints, we are able to rule out 1D, 1F as it should be. But we can do, for instance, Eastern Corridor, Eastern Dagomba Corridor, which has about 6, 7, 8 constituencies. You look at 2, 3 industries that can better serve, or you see that those almost all those communities living around that enclave will have one common industry. And so you build that industry in such a way that these communities can all come and benefit from it. But if you want to now say everybody, we will be dragging you, bring it to my constituency, bring it to my community. And so at the end of the day, the government is compelled to stretch itself too thin. At the end of the day, nothing gets achieved.
But you know, that's the difference. It's about the implementation.
It's about the implementation. I think that's always where
the
the
1D, 1F implementation is purely private sector led.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
that is not
purely.
Yeah, it's purely private sector led. And
this one.
Oh, it's always been that. It's always been that.
In the
only thing you see is government incentive that is given by way of tax exemptions and facilitation for loan, but the individual investor owns the liability.
No, but that was not the communication when the policy was first introduced. The policy was explained.
They have since shifted.
It was explained that government was going to build factories in districts. And that is what birthed the name 1D, 1F. Later, when some further explanation were given, we were told that private sector are also welcome. So that if you have a factory and you still want some expansion or support from government, you let us know. So I don't think that was a communication we got, that it was solely or purely
let me come.
a private sector
The
driven.
point you are making is belated. Right, it's belated.
Yeah, that's
what
right.
I'm telling you about what was operational.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
what happened
Okay.
in the period when we're in government is that it's private sector driven, facilitation from government in terms of ensuring that all the impediments in terms of formalization, registration, and those things were facilitated by secretariats to ensure that people had that speed in their stead to be able to set up those industries to be able to drive economic activity. I think that we should insist on, driving that. The NDC can come at it from whatever angle they want to, but make sure that we're driving it. And a number of the proposals in their manifesto, especially in the agri sector, the emphasis they are putting on it at Ministry of Food and Agriculture means that if they drive in that direction, that is going to be the difference maker. That actually is the game changer, not the
24,
the
almighty.
The fake with the 24-hour narrative that they've been peddling. Now they are coming face to face with the reality. They think now they say passport, and then they are talking something printing at the Ghana Publishing,
DVLA.
Ghana Publishing Corporation.
The Publishing Corporation. That's where they're going to take 24-hour economy. We're talking about transformative economic activity that will give jobs.
How does it start?
When you're printing passport.
How does it start?
I like your question.
Well, is it things that are going to add to our GDP that will drive this economy? Say printing passport is going to be transformative of this economy. I don't get it. They are printing Ghana Publishing Corporation. That's going to drive our economy. They have spoken too large, too big, too grandiose, and now they are faced with reality, and they're now sneaking around corners and whatnot. But the point is that there are massive things that must be done. And this investment that we must make in every district, really the idea is common sense. And it's as if it's something that, it's out of the box. But it's just realistic. It's with us. And so if NDC is doing it, it's not as if they're copying from anybody. It's just the natural thing to do, that you grow from your environment, things that are within your space, things that you have comparative, is basic economics, things that you have comparative advantage in doing in terms of production. You do that, and other people who have comparative advantage in doing other things, they do that, and you trade with them. That's how trade evolves. So if we can invest in some of these things, I think that it would help a great deal.
Richard, I'm surprised Richard is taking us on this.
And it's not an invitation
on the
to
issue.
discuss
On the
it. I'm
issue,
just
to give him
It was
one,
an invitation to
No,
throw it out there.
the invitation to let him know that they have
just
spoken.
on the issue of the
and now they must
1D1F,
deliver.
Annie,
Yes.
when you saw that clarification, there was one thing you made clear to him. Prior to Nana becoming president, the understanding we all had about 1D1F changed drastically. When they took over and they started to operationalize it. Is that not it? Yeah. We felt the policy was so good. Initially, we were told that it was government-led, government-driven.
No, nobody said that. You see, you know why nobody said that? Even if you assume that was what we were saying, you should know who we are. I mean, if I am telling you in a conversation somebody is listening to us and saying, hold on 1 second. If so in a conversation, somebody is listening to us, and then somebody say, this year I'm going to give birth, right? Okay? It could be a man who says he wants to give birth, but definitely if there's a woman in the room, the supposition will be that naturally a woman is the one to give birth, right? But if it was just men, then you can agree that maybe they are talking about their wives. But if there's a woman in the conversation, you can assume that the baby will come from the woman. The point I'm making is that if MPP is saying we are going to ensure one district, one factory in every constituency, every district, the inference you should make is that who are these people? These are market-led people, okay? These are pro-market people. And so therefore, they are not going to be the ones who do that. They will drive, exactly. But if you hear NDC saying that, but if you hear NDC saying that, then you know that it's going to be state-driven because of their disposition. So that should be the basis for assessing that. So,
Okay.
and that was why.
I haven't made my point.
No, I just want to, because NDC was saying, we said we want to know.
I was coming to respond to the way you took us on the 24 hour.
I'll come 1 second. You see, so when you hear that, you must hear that in context, that the New Patriotic Party, okay, is a pro-market political party, and so therefore will drive the private sector, which is exactly what was done. And that's the right thing to do. When we're kids, we'll be hearing that the private sector is the engine of growth and all of that. The NDC now agrees with that, right? Which is the reason they did a divestiture implementation to drive all the state agencies for private handling of those. So that is the basis from where we're speaking. So the implementation was no different from what was said, except they were hearing it from a socialistic standpoint.
I've seen a headline that says that Ghana's informal sector holds 80% of jobs.
Right.
But contributes just 27% to GDP.
Yeah.
So there's a problem even with the disparity.
Productivity
is low.
Productivity is the issue, and that's the reason why. That's the reason why this investment is key. To be able to increase production. I've seen instances in your manifesto. You're talking about shifting focus from raw material export to adding value that includes even cocoa and the rest of those. That's where we can make the difference. You understand? So the ideas are good. But then the implementation is what we are.
The implementation is the problem. I'm glad that you actually landed there, because I was going to land you there. Because sometimes when you were in government, all the criticisms that came about the policies you introduced, it was the implementation. It was about the implementation, not the policy itself. I have always told the NPP that they are NDC that they are very bad at coming up with slogans to drive the people along. Which the NPP is so good at.
Yes.
So it's easy to even convince the ordinary person that, this project is 1D1F, every person will understand.
You have said everything right, except you use the wrong word.
Which is?
The idea of what you're saying is great, and I commend you, but then the word you're using is wrong.
Which word did I use?
It's a sloganeering and then all that.
No, but it's not his
coming out with policy.
It's not Annie's.
No, I'm just saying that. No,
I'm not.
She is speaking. Nobody is speaking for her.
So hold on.
But I'm saying
so let me do that. So you come in.
So we're good at coming up with policies. Policies that are relevant and policies that drive Ghana forward.
You know that Kwame Nkrumah built factories and industries, right? What was the slogan he put to?
Kwame Nkrumah didn't build one district, one factory.
Exactly my point. But he built factories, right?
Yeah, but one district, one factory you are referring to as a slogan. It's not a slogan.
No.
It is a specific policy, descriptive policy.
Then you are getting me. No, you're getting me.
He got you right.
I'm saying that even if it's policy,
the thing has
but you have a slogan that drives that policy, that must drive the policy with the people, no?
Use policy. The policy's name is what is driving it.
No. Don't worry, sir.
I'm just trying to tell you that all these ideas and policies that political parties have been coming up with, they already exist.
You said the right thing. NDC, they are not good at bringing a policy. NPP is good at bringing policy.
I didn't say that.
Is good.
I never said that.
Use the right word.
I never said so. I never said so. But you see, I'm actually, being a bit extensive with you, because of where you come from, because there's been a lot of talk about the northern part of the country and how we can develop it. US is cutting their US aid. I don't know of any analyst or economist that has done the analysis for us, so that we see what is that aid, if it's taken away, is ever going to do to us, the gap that's going to leave within our revenue generation and then financing of our policies. So it means that you new ones that are coming into the house must tell us what you can give us, what we can tap into, and then we can bridge the gap within the the financial.
And that's why I would always laud each day. I would laud the policy of the 24-hour economy. If you can describe 1DYF as a game changer, then I would describe 24-hour economy as a game initiator, because there has to be something in place before you can even change it. And Richie tried to say that we are starting it in some piecemeal, maybe he wanted to see some big... No, we stated in our manifesto that certain things needed to be put in place before the 24-hour economy can be fully implemented. Because it's not just for the public sector, it's also meant to entice the private sector to also come on board. And so we talked about the smart metering. A lot of things are going to be put in place. And so we will not behave like the NPP who, when they took over the reins of government in 2017, and because of what they saw in the coffers, monies were there. JM had left them so much in the coffers that the free SHS, no consultation, no nothing. They just started. And so no wonder for the last 8 years, we've all seen how the education sector has been. And so we are saying that we will start with the low-hanging fruit in terms of the implementation of the 24-hour economy. And what are the low-hanging fruit? Those that we have full control over. For instance, the private sector will have a bigger role to play in this. But currently, we are not in charge of the private sector. And so it will look weird for us to start by saying that we are starting the way we promise it. We will start small. And like you asked him, you have to start from somewhere before you attain whatever level you want to attain. And so the 24-hour economy, when fully implemented, would deliver the promise that we gave to Ghanaians. And we have never shied away from praising their policies. Even yesterday, when the Deputy Trade Minister was being vetted, he said, oh, why do you want if it's a good policy? And like Annie said, the problem has always been with the implementation. And when it comes to naming policies, you are best at it, not initiating policies.
What's the difference?
Oh, no.
Annie,
you are doing, look,
your parents have done a good job giving you a name. And then somebody say,
no, that's not the start.
That becomes your name, isn't it?
Richard, that's not the start.
The parents say the policy we have come.
The parents have done a good job by giving birth to her.
One district, one factory is the name of the policy, not a slogan. Free SHS is the name of the policy, not a slogan. One village, one dam is the name of the policy, not a slogan.
I want to take you on this.
Come up with those, we just have come up with good policy.
Which one would you praise? Which one would you praise your parents for? Which one would you praise your parents for? No, I'm coming.
Yes.
Which one?
Forget about Annie and her parents.
So you gave Annie's as which one would you praise your parents for?
Annie,
for giving birth to you or for giving you the name Annie?
What's your point?
No, I want her opinion. Which one would you praise? Would you praise your parents for? Is it for giving birth to you or for giving you the name Annie?
Actually, a chicken and egg situation for me.
Annie.
Yes.
Your name cannot be as important as your existence.
No problem. So
you understand?
And that's what are you saying?
Oh, but at this point, is that if you ask me that question, I'll tell them for giving birth to me.
That is it.
So but the point I was making, even with that which he's trying to forward, I'm just trying to let him know that what name they have given you is the name they have given you.
See,
the point is that
Richard,
because they gave birth to you, hold on.
Richard,
because they gave birth to you, hold on. Because they gave birth to you, they have the right to give you a name. That name becomes your name. It's not a slogan. It's your name.
Yeah.
That is your essence. When you identify by that.
Okay.
So when we come up with free SHS, that is the policy we have birthed and the name we have given it. It's not a slogan. It's the name of that policy. You understand? And the idea that it's a slogan is not the case. It's a policy that is good, and it is just like the name
I'm not
a
sure.
good policy.
I'm not sure what problem you have with the word slogan, but
it's condescending.
Hold on.
And the
okay.
Yeah, the slogan is condescending. But
Okay.
what you just
No, but
you
slogans
said that they are good.
No,
at
you know why? Let me say this.
Okay.
You are saying it's condescending because of the
It's derogatory to say that one district,
slogan.
one factory
The word
says-
slogan.
No, it's actually
The
to
word
your credit as
slogan
well.
is not negative in itself.
know.
It's not condescending in itself.
know.
But hold on,
Okay.
the NDC went on the path
Exactly,
of
that's what I'm talking
They
about.
went on the path of poking holes in your implementation processes and said that you like sloganeering.
No.
That's why today you are sensing that as condescending, not necessarily condescending. So when Dr. Baumia, when Dr. Baumia was talking about digitalization, which the Deputy Minister yesterday also said it's on the vetting committee that they are going to continue and improve on it. You remember that the NDC made arguments about but we even brought in
passport, online passport,
yes. And then the fiber optic cables. We laid it.
Yes.
Now the problem I had with you was that you laid fiber optic cables, but there was no slogan to. We didn't know what you did. In fact, we didn't hear. We didn't see
what you're saying.
I'm not justifying.
Slogan. The point is that it's derogatory in the sense the NDC, instead of appreciating the policy, they said it's slogan. In other words, it is not any substantial policy. It is just a slogan. That is what the NDC.
Then what are we coming to continue?
And I'm trying to let
then
you
what
know.
Are we coming to continue?
Hold on.
We have made pledge to continue
but
with those policies.
Oh, hold on. When you saw the vetting either of the Deputy Finance Minister in relation to the 1D, 1F incentives that were the
Oh,
tax
yeah,
exemptions,
yeah.
right? See how you were going round about the agreement, the lack of agreement,
Oh,
that
no,
they
no, no.
support. Hold on, that they supported it, they didn't support it. They were opposed to it. Okay, they were opposed to that. But now that they are in government, they will be in a position for those one district, one factory companies, if they are going to carry on with it, for them to come to them, and they will need those exemptions.
But they supported
Hold
some
on,
of yours.
Hold on, but I'm
It's
saying
not
that
everything that they
no
opposed.
problem. I'm saying that I'm specific about those incentives. Those incentives were not passed.
But you're
The companies
also
didn't
using
get it.
wrong words.
No, how do you mean?
You're also using wrong words.
What
The way we say sloganeering and you say sloganeering is condescending, if you say that they were opposed, like you were, you tagged free SHS criticisms, you said they were opposed to free SHS. They told you we were not opposed to the policy. They even admitted that it was.
I'm saying one district, one factory. I'm talking about tax exemption. Hold on, I'm talking about tax exemption that's been in Parliament. Oh, wait. A tax exemption. Because if you support one district, one factory, okay, the exemption inherently is what it is. That government wants to facilitate industries. Hold on. Government wants to facilitate industry in my constituency.
So tax exemptions alone is what made up the policy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, he's in
tax exemptions.
Listen. You, Annie.
Yes.
You have your money you want to invest. Government wants you to invest in Ketu South, okay, to drive one district, one factory. In order for us to facilitate that for you, okay, the implements you need, the equipment you need to set up that business, okay, the importation of certain raw materials that you cannot find here in Ghana to complement the local base of raw material that you have to transform the raw material into a complete product, and therefore production is attained. Those government will facilitate a tax exemption for you. If you need the loan or capital to do whatever initial build-up you have to do, government will facilitate, guarantee a loan through GCB or whatever, so you can attain that capital to be able to facilitate. That is government's facilitation part of the policy. So the tax exemption is core to that policy. And the NDC are going to be faced with that. Because if they are going to drive industry, as they are saying, then they must facilitate those conditions, because the machinery to drive industrialization, we don't make them here necessarily, we have to import them. So that becomes a key plank of the policy. So if they say they are opposed to that, and for 4 years, companies that were needing that tax exemption to drive the policy were stifled at committee, and that did not materialize. And they went to one conference after another to scale it down, to reduce it, and eventually that tax exemption was not passed till the 8th Parliament ended. Then you're saying that you support the policy. I can get it.
So those tax exemptions, hold on, those tax exemptions that the minority then fought against was under the 1D1F policy?
Yes. Those companies are 1D, 1F companies that were needing that tax exemption to drive the installation or the production in that area.
Richard has peddled a lot of false food.
Let me have you
I actually follow the verbatim myself.
And it's not about vetting, it's about the facts. It's not about vetting. But the point, I'm interested because you're talking about falsehood.
Richard, in the meantime, as he comes in,
blatant falsehood, Richard.
Because I'm not sure that was the point they were making.
Falsehood.
These were industries and factories and companies that the majority of the time was seeking tax exemptions from. Minority, it was not so clear that they were under the 1D, 1F policy.
The companies. That were those
were all captured under the one. Okay, let me have.
Those are 1D, 1F companies. The bulk of them. If there were anything that is not, then it would have been a company participating in the one district, one factory as an existing company that want to come in. You know, when you have an existing company that want to expand and all of that, you can come under the one district, one factory policy, and then fresh ones that are starting can come under the policy. Right?
No, but I want the clarity. Were those companies who were seeking tax exemptions for,
the bulk of them
were they all under the
the bulk of them?
No, I don't want the word bulk. Were they all under the one?
I can tell you yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, honorable.
Annie.
But in the meantime, check for the performance tracker for me. It doesn't look like it's still working.
You need a performance tracker.
You check for me.
Okay. I don't see why it should be down, but I'll check. Go ahead.
Okay.
Annie,
I will be
I
expecting.
think this was the impression.
Give me updates because I've been trying to get into it. Yes.
Annie,
yes.
The same impression Richard is trying to create here was the impression that Afenyomakin tried to create yesterday, and he was corrected at the vetting. And he came back to put the statement right. Richard is saying that we are opposed to tax exemptions in respect of 1D, 1F because we're opposed to 1D, 1F. 1D, 1F started in 2017 when you took over the reins of government. And so for 8 years, we were doing 1D, 1F. So for the 7 years, nothing was heard of tax exemptions being opposed by the opposition. You had 7 years running 1D, 1F. Tell me, at what point within the space of that 7 years did you hear opposition opposing any tax exemptions in relation to 1D, 1F? It was only from February 2024 to December 2024, within the space of 1 year.
That's not true. That's not true.
Tell me, aside this
that is not
that
true.
became an issue at the vetting.
You finish and I'll put your statement right. You see, you say 7 years.
So this
the first 4 years, you didn't have the numbers we had in the last 4 years.
Okay, so this was captured by Majority Online on 3rd September 2024. Majority triggered recall to fast-track tax exemptions to their cronies. Minority leader. Story says, Minority Leader Kasia Latoforsen has accused the majority of recalling Parliament to fast-track tax exemptions benefiting crony businesses. He argued that the tax exemptions totaling over $350 million are not urgent enough to justify Parliament's recall. This recall comes barely 95 days to 2024 parliamentary and presidential elections. Now, the recall indeed being triggered by the NPP majority, and it is not to enable them to fast-track tax giveaways to their crony businesses, he claimed. Speaking on the floor, Dr. Atoforsen insisted that the National Democratic Congress NPP are opposed to the tax exemptions, arguing that they do not serve the best interest of Ghanaians.
So
if these were captured...
It's like you are cutting me short.
I'm sorry, I'll let you cut me.
I'm trying to just
he called for these exemptions to be converted into credits or linked equity shares that stipulated the Tax Exemptions Act.
You are letting me speak.
Okay. Now, if I wish your technical guys could play that bit of Afenyomakin's admission.
Yes, that is not even necessary.
No, it's necessary because
don't worry, you make your point.
Yeah, because
Afenyomakin initially painted the picture that NDC, when they were in opposition or when we were in opposition, were opposed to the tax exemptions in respect of this 1D, 1F. And then the finance minister designate who was being vetted.
The deputy finance.
Sorry, the deputy finance minister designate who was being vetted made that correction there.
Ampem Nyaku.
He said that correction has to be made because the committee, the finance committee, made up of both NPP and NDC, had passed a lot of tax exemptions in respect of 1D, 1F by unanimous decisions. And Afenyomakin came back to say that he was talking in respect of this particular one.
Yes.
This particular one.
Yes.
That's the issue. So are you saying that from the beginning of your 1D, 1F, this was the only time you were seeking for tax exemptions for 1D, 1F?
But we are speaking about something that you're opposed to.
Yeah, so you don't generalize it that we have all along been opposed.
But that's what at issue.
But you have come to Parliament with 1D, 1F tax exemptions which has been passed.
If you have always supported it, why are you opposed to it now?
You should be asking that question.
The tax exemptions.
You support the
we
thing.
Have always,
and somehow
because there were issues with it. In fact,
the minority leader at the time said you were issuing them for your cronies. And they had done their own investigations. No, but they had done their own investigations about it, and they knew who were.
And not only that.
He's saying that it's a politician and NDC politician saying we're issuing to our cronies. Do you expect him to say we're issuing?
And not only that, even themselves, when the issues were raised at the committee level about the humongous nature of that figure, they themselves revised it from $370+ million to $170+ million.
Because you are blockading the thing.
What do we know?
Because the people deserve the thing. They want it. They need a thing to drive industrialization. You are saying that you won't approve it.
No.
If you won't approve it and it's okay, well, take a look at it in the form that you would
like.
Why
would you even grant tax exemptions to raw materials? The person is coming to produce.
Yeah.
There are huge capital incentives you can give them, like machinery and other things. Yeah. Those are justified. But that person coming to produce must also bear some responsibility as a producer. At least
you must show some muscle.
The cost of the raw materials. Now you are embedding the same with the cost of the raw material that the person is coming to use.
But
When this issue was raised,
that raw material, you see, some of these things we have to discuss them dispassionately. You are not a business person; you're a lawyer. You don't appreciate the world.
No,
of
but
business.
that's unfair to
No,
him.
I'm just saying that. No, I'm just saying. No.
The fact that you're not a lawyer
do you
does
feel
not
offended
mean
by that?
you. No,
I'm saying that.
I am looking at it from a different perspective, and I'm thinking it's unfair to him.
No.
Because if you do legal analysis, I will not say that because you're not a lawyer, you don't.
But I would defer to him. I'll defer to him.
Right, it matters not.
Yes.
But I
think what I'm saying is that if you are not in business, you will not appreciate that, the need for that.
Yeah, but every businessman wants the softest part.
Fair enough.
Of
I
their
hope
business
you are not
activity.
offended by that.
What
I'm saying is that I'm just saying that it's a technical space, okay, of business, and so the individual in that space who is coming, the objective for the state, you must keep that in mind. The objective for the state is employment, is production. That leads to the growth and expansion of the economy. So as far as the state is concerned, what facilitation must be given to ensure that district, that factory we are trying to create in Yendi to produce shea butter, okay, add value, and so therefore be able to export that to earn foreign exchange for the country, and then create employment in Yendi is the state's principal concern in that transaction, to ensure that you, who is the business person, we are able to facilitate for you, within reason, to establish that business. So the raw material he's speaking about, if that raw material is not available, okay, within the country, and that raw material is needed, and I said that earlier, to add to what raw material base exists in Yendi, to be able to drive that, then by all means, that is going to add to the cost. So what would happen is that if you don't provide exemption for that raw material, and the person had to pay full cost for it, when they produce shea butter in Yendi, you cannot buy it as though it was produced here, because the cost input is higher. And so therefore, even though it was produced here, it will be more expensive. So why government would have to come and subsidize that so that the cost is lower? And you also know that the local producers are competing with foreign imports. And so if government doesn't come in to step down the cost of input in producing that shea butter in Yendi, you would have produced shea butter here, but it would be cheaper to import shea butter from Germany or anywhere else, even though you have one here. That is government's intervention. And that's why that is.
No, the whole 1D1F is based on the fact that that community has this raw material. That is the whole concept.
Which raw material is that? Give us an example.
No, for instance, you are talking about my
the specific one in the exemption that you guys say you don't want. What raw material?
No, we all understand that 1D1F is to tap into the raw materials in the local communities.
Yeah. Yes.
And so it is safe to assume that raw material is already available locally.
Yeah, that cannot be the burden of government.
That cannot be so you are come and tap into the raw material because we want to utilize that raw material in that community. Now you are now bringing foreign raw material in, and you are expecting government again to show that burden.
I ask you.
I don't get it.
Ask you a question, okay? But let me give you an example, okay? I'm into some enterprise with a partner who is packaging some product, right? And we have to do packaging. The packaging in which we're putting the stuff is imported from China. Okay? If I tell you the bill for the packaging, okay, it involves packaging of gari and the rest of the stuff. And the packaging import, the bill, if I tell you that, you'll be amazed and say that we are going into an industry. It won't take you 100,000 to set up a gari manufacturing small industry. But the cost we are investing to be able to get a package, it takes about 3 months. There are packaging companies here, but their cost is high. But we're getting this thing from China, okay? And the costs, the forward cost in procuring that packaging material, okay, is 4 times the cost that was necessary to start. And it's in dollars, correct? Because it takes 3 months to get them here, we have to buy at a given time a certain amount, in excess of 200,000 pieces to be printed for you. And the more you buy, the less the cost, okay? The initial purchase of 200,000 pieces of the packaging material was in excess of $52,000. Okay? If we are under one district, one factory, and we say, look, we are making gari, which is raw material, cassava based here in Ketu South, wherever you find them. But the other raw material or input that we need to complete that business is this packaging that we must get from China. And we need tax exemption for the import of the packaging materials to be able to advance our 100,000 Ghana cedis industry. Government, we are under one district, one factory, intervene to give us tax exemption. That is not to say that we are bringing raw material from somewhere, because we don't have the capacity to produce those here. So that's the point we're making. So if we are one district, one factory, and you have refused, since 2022, that tax exemption was put in the budget. The NDC stifled it, and you are talking about, you have in the past, you have supported, you have not supported the thing.
No, your minority leader himself admitted that.
No, he didn't say that. Listen,
he did.
You don't know, he didn't say that. See, from 2017 when we came, 2017 when we came, right? The NDC was not significant in terms of parliamentary obstruction. We had 169, and so therefore we're able to get that stuff through. When we came in 2020, because of the balanced nature of the numbers, they began obstruction. This tax exemption we're talking about didn't come in 2024. It was put in the budget somewhere 2022. Okay? And they obstructed the thing till then, and they didn't pass it till we left. And so if we are saying you oppose the thing, you have opposed the thing. You cannot support one district, one factory. And the key, the lifeblood to driving one district, one factory, you oppose it, and you didn't give the tax exemption to companies. And now you know why they are softening their stance, Adi. Now they are in government. They are saying the one district, one factory is good, and those companies would come looking for tax exemption. And then you have to come and pass it, and they will come. No, yes, but of course the principal position will be advanced. And when you are opposed to it, yes,
so when you have your say.
All right, we'll take
when
a break.
You have your say.
We'll take a break.
And we'll have our way.
No problem.
we'll take, Honorable, let me ask you this. I've seen someone, write something about you. I just want to see if you're familiar with it. Do you know anybody called Prince Nankana Ishmael? You don't know him? Okay. So he says, my hometown MP. Maybe you want to go and look for him when you go home. My hometown MP, the legal brainy luminary.
Hey. These people, they
can write.
They just take the adjectives from.
Legal brainy luminary.
He must be English. They are free to use words. They use words or NDC.
I beg you.
I didn't say slogan.
I beg you.
I said they use words.
So we'll take a breather. When we come back, still on the fight against corruption and corruption-related matters, the government obviously has started, carrying out some activities. Richard has taken to his X-handle and has written a few things. You know that the president has described the previous administration as criminally handling the economy. And so, well, if they criminally definitely handled the economy, then it means that there are some things he has to do. And he's already started taking action against some people that the government thinks or thought they did some activities against the law. And so we've started, or the government has started inviting persons who should be answering questions. We have the NSS, National Service Authority, NSA now, National Service Authority now. We have the issue of the Sky Train. Remember that Professor Ameya Okunfi was invited. We're told that Joe Gatti, also former minister, has also been invited. Now it's in front of one of the newspapers. I think I captured it. The deputy director, for the NSA is still being held for questions and stuff like that. And so I think government is proceeding with investigating some of these issues that came up there. There were a lot of corruption allegation matters that, characterized the previous administration. I'm not sure how the government will go through all that came up. We'll see about that. But I'll be capturing Richard's statement after the break. However, let me read some of your messages. Annie, We in the north, we are the northern men who are part of the major problems to the bad financial situation of our women and mothers up north. We don't give chop money like it's done south, and we expect our mothers and wives to use a little capital they get from the businesses to cater for the house, i.e. food and all groceries in the house. Don Kofuseni, proud Kokumba man. He said, read la. Is that true? It's true?
Yes.
You can't answer.
It's a difficult situation. It's a difficult situation. Because you can't say so. That's all. Is that the reason why they defaulted?
He said it's a cultural thing.
That we don't give.
That you don't give chop money to your wives.
What does it mean?
So the little money they get, they have to use it to cater for the household.
No.
So
in fact, it is in the northern part of the country that a man would always assume that responsibility of catering for the home. But did nothing.
I mean, actually, it's a Ghanaian thing.
It's a Ghanaian thing, but it's more pronounced in the north. The northerner feels pride. In fact, the northern man feels very proud of himself. If he has some pride in himself, if he is the one taking care of the home. But it becomes like a little some way if the wife has to now be the one to take care of the home. So
Musa Abatwa says that, Annie, with this kind of investment so far, the economy is reviving slowly. However, the fight against galamsey is progressing well with the new strategic approach. The Lands Minister revelation about the destruction of 7,500 football pitches of forest reserves highlights the urgency of the battle. Meanwhile, the NIB's role in ensuring accountability is crucial, and the accountability has no expiry date. Every public official must be reminded of this principle. Happy birthday to the MPACU, Mr. Eduji Tamaklo. Oh,
yes.
Today is Tamaklo's
birthday. I have to do that before
Happy
I
birthday.
leave here.
Happy birthday. Please find me his pictures.
Yeah, happy birthday to you, my boss.
Everybody has to just be quiet at MP.
No, he's not quiet.
I said he should be.
Is that a warning or an advice?
He shouldn't be intervening in Good Morning Ghana matters.
Somebody is just wishing him.
And it's
I thought it was a message was from
No, it's Adi who read it. It's just a message.
Bro, congratulations and maintain your silence.
Oh no, he's on top of his job.
I'm not questioning that. He will do a good job.
Very soon he will be with you.
No. He should maintain his silence.
We will not behave like MPP who feel when your mouth is full you can't talk, so they are not able to.
So they are still talking.
Stop yourself.
Okay, so you know Mr. Samuel Dubik Mahama.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's saying good morning to all of you. Okay, so the former ECG boss, good morning to you as well. Okay, so that's Mr. Eduji Tamaklo. The picture taken.
Director.
Proudly, a picture taken on Good Morning Ghana.
Happy birthday to you.
Yes.
And then MPA boss. We are very proud of you.
Yeah, it's okay. He should just stay there and do the job.
Have you heard the exploits he's making over there?
Which of the team members of Good Morning Ghana was not appointed?
Is there?
Who was not appointed? I mean, any regular, guest on Good Morning Ghana was not appointed.
Well, the only thing is that all of them cannot be appointed, but a good number of them have. And my expectation is that they would acquit themselves creditably. That's really the hope. Okay, and we'll be with you here regularly trying to
waiting for the next appointment.
Yeah, we'll be straightening their backs and in good faith to ensure that Ghana gets the dividend.
This is his best picture I've ever liked. Like Eduji Tamaklo's picture. This picture was very nice.
Solid.
Yeah. I love the picture. I don't know what the occasion was.
Is that his mischief best in that?
Oh. We'll take a breather. I'll be back shortly.
I wish you have this picture there for the entire period of your break. So
Who are you? You. Charlie, I'll be you from the future. Who doesn't sleep on that slice of bready poor mattress anymore? Don't some slippers then follow me. It is part of the mattress we did the front there. Yeah? Happiness mattress where the dead go. Wait, what are you doing? Wow! No damage at all. Not only durable, but also super comfortable. Come on, try it.
Nothing day like ash foam. Enjoy full body support and unparalleled comfort for a restful sleep.
Don't forget your keys.
Get the premium sleep experience with mattresses from Ash Foam. Visit any of our showrooms nationwide or at ashfoam.com.
Fire pom with in Yagubi, Ghana Funiaji. If you say, ya, your local spices, na ya fradia, ya sanko for natural spice.
Me de gumi jollof fumu, name is still a huduma, emanate dance.
Stanley, the barbecue, the go on.
Sanko for natural spices, and one you use 100% natural. Said the Epen.
Adolfo, Mamu, huge mistake. Sanko for natural spices. The
FDIG ejedi nkratu yatu.
Anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath.
I'm a fair Missy Way.
The patch of Bantama.
Machasi.
That's so thankful.
It's her smile. The fresh breath.
Me, Gidi said we used to Cal 360 toothpaste. Some kind. Cal 360 toothpaste.
That's Kia. Cal 360 toothpaste. It's a gum protector.
Onim jom kasan. Ile hosen.
Cal 360 did the work. It's cool mint. Gives me fresh breath and your confidence booster.
You will see so feeling kika when you know Cal 360 toothpaste. Happy smile.
Cal 360 toothpaste, anti-cavity, gum protection, brighter teeth, and fresh breath. Cal, happy smile. This advert is FDA approved.
Customer, I don't know who to say.
Malaria been actually me on my still.
One of them give us.
Give us a solid.
Yeah, sorry. But rest of us give us here and don't come down.
What's a good answer? But tomato give us the and some down.
Give us about me, sir.
Maybe I try the and some down.
Customer. Give us a tonton now. Pa.
Onuya kayo, oba wa fa furo nom. De o ma no banu fo nom. Akwada wa ni fie dumie no ono nso nom.
You the answer to my prayers. You're with me everywhere. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need tonight. Give me shelter from the rain. You breathe life in me again. You're my angel, miracle. You're all I need to know tonight.
Welcome back to the program. We're still on Good Morning Ghana. Richard Ahiagba is the MPP Director of Communications, and also we have Abdul Fattah Al Hassan Esquire, and also Member of Parliament for Yendi constituency. Now let's capture the statement as captured by Richard on his wall some days back. So he says, "Good afternoon, Mr. President." Good afternoon, Ghana. On President Mahama's comments that Ghana's economy has been criminally handled, Ghanaians should note the following. 1. Nothing could be further from the truth. President Mahama inherited an economy where A, the gross international reserve stood at about $9 billion, more than the $6.2 billion. That's the equivalent to 4 months of import covered with the 3.5 months of import cover President Akufo-Addo inherited from Mahama in 2017. Economic growth returned to pre-COVID levels with progressive growth in the first 3 quarters of 2024, namely 4.8%, 7% and 7.2% respectively. Growth for the 2024 is projected to be 6.3%, higher than the 3.4% President Akufo-Addo inherited from the President Mahama in 2017. C, the current account balance improved to surplus of 2.6% GDP compared to the deficit of 6.6% of GDP President Akufo-Addo inherited from President Mahama in 2017. D, the trade balance was a surplus of $3.85 billion compared to the $1.8 billion deficit President Akufo-Addo inherited from the President Mahama in 2017. Then 2, Ghana achieved micro stability with all economic indicators trending positive from 2023 until we left office. And take note, Ghana achieved macro stability with all economic indicators trending positive from 2023 until we left office. Now, inflation dropped from 54.1% in December 2022 to 22.1% in October 2024, and more than 50% drop. And external reserve improved to $9 billion. The debt to GDP ratio dropped from 79.2% in September to 74.6% in October 2024, and the depreciation of the cedi slowed from a high of 30% in 2022 to 19% in 2024, according to the BOG. Now, in particular, the external debt restructuring resulted in $2.86 billion debt relief, of which the government will access about $657 million in this fiscal year. Okay, I have just a few, so let me finish it. On the back of the stabilization of the economy, Dr. Akufo-Addo Bawumia administration increased public sector workers' base pay by 30% in 2023 and 23% from January to June 2024, 25% from July to December 2024. Ghana is this economy that can be described as having been mishandled. We certainly endured some hard times, especially the difficult but necessary DDEP, owing to the difficult times or difficulties we faced battling COVID-19 and its aftermath. We lost most Ghanaians during this time, but not because we mismanaged the economy. In this time, Ghana will appreciate the difference between the talkers and the doers. Kukrudu. Richard.
Richard
Ahiagba,
welcome.
The Communications Director for the MPP.
You sounded very well with the last bit you said.
Kukrudu.
That was your best sound. That was your best sound. I mean, all morning, that's your best sound.
Really?
Yeah. When in doubt, just say Kukrudu. Okay. Annie, I think that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is faced with reality. The reality he's faced with is that he and his party have spoken big, made very ground-moving comments and statements about the economy, such that Ghanaians bought into their message and voted for them. Now he's at a point he must deliver. And the reality is hitting him. He knows now that it's not a tea party. All right? He has to actually bring the game on. And the game is not coming. They are working on the budget and they see it. That this whole thing is not a tea party, but rather the MPP was being ingenious in trying to solve the problems of the country. We've had governments manage our economy. In this Fourth Republic, you can see that it is in the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia era. If you take President Kufuor, who came to revive our economy from the decline that the NDC, led by the former president, His Excellency Jerry John Rawlings, left it in 2001, brought the economy and it became the toast of the world. And you know, it was around that time that we became a lower middle income country. And Akufo-Addo also again came to salvage the decline that the NDC left under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama in 2017. It is only in this government, Akufo-Addo's government, that you saw an economy ravaged completely to the ground, but yet were able to bring that economy back, turn it around. The NDC under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama faced economic difficulties. They had to go to the IMF in 2015. In 2014 was a disaster for our country. I think the economy was moving in any all direction except the right way that the economy must move, which is forward. It was going backwards, shaking left, right, going backwards. They, in that period, were not able to turn the economy around. The economy was nose-diving until His Excellency John Dramani Mahama left office in 2017. We came and turned that economy around. The economy they couldn't turn around in 2016. From 2015, when they went to the IMF and whatnot, they couldn't turn it around. From 2013, when he came to office, we turned that economy around in 1 year. In 2017, at the close of that fiscal year, GDP expanded 8.1% compared to the 3.4% we inherited from His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. So he did not leave an economy, okay, or he did not manage an economy, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama did not manage an economy that compares to what he inherited. He left a declining economy, but he's inheriting a growing economy. So he cannot refer to that economy as an economy that has been criminally handled. He cannot refer to the economy that he has inherited, because the economy he has inherited is far superior to what he left in 2017. So it's for me, with all respect to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, an attempt to obfuscate, attempt to deflect, attempt to blame and be political about it, to saying that, oh, they didn't manage it well, so I'm faced with a problem. So let me give you 10%. It's a difficult situation he finds himself. If I were the president and his advisors in doing that, I think his advisors should have told, instead of saying criminally managed, which is not factual, say that you are now to do your budget and whatnot, you want to get a full grasp of things before you can get yourself into that space, and so therefore please accept the 10%, which is what he said. You know, at the end of the day, accept the 10%, let's use this 1 year, okay, to get past whatever, the newness of my administration. Then we can have a constructive conversation.
I'm going to ask you three
questions.
I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Note them down. 1, how did we get to the point of DDEP? 2, do you believe in international ratings? 3, how did we get the Bank of Ghana to be printing money for us?
All of those questions have been answered.
I want you to answer them.
Well, I have answered them here several times. But the point
I want to hear you again.
Well, we got to DDEP apparently because we have to go to the IMF. And the IMF, going to the IMF was necessitated by the COVID-19 crisis we faced and Russia-Ukraine that disrupted the global economy. Attendant to that is inflation. Attendant to that is currency depreciation, because those evidence for that is replete across the world. The United States was suffering high inflation. The United Kingdom, high inflation, unprecedented, historic levels of inflation, where there was mass agitation for salary increases in the United Kingdom. There were scheduled strikes. I happened to be in the UK around one of those times attending a conference, and on a certain day, the train conductors wouldn't work. On another day, nurses won't go to work. They scheduled it because they were agitating for salary increases commensurate with the rate of inflation in their country. Depreciation of the city. It was across the world. The dollar became stronger, particularly because the U.S. Treasury will have to increase interest rate, all right, to make money expensive, increase the cost of borrowing, and so therefore people were saving rather than borrowing. That cleaned up the excess money in the system to manage their inflation. That happened in that time, and Ghana was affected. And so those were the circumstances leading to Ghana having to seek an IMF program, and condition to that would be to manage our debt situation. And so therefore, how do you do that? Then we have to go through the painful exercise of domestic debt exchange, which the government didn't want to, the president most especially didn't want to put Ghanaians through, but it was a necessary right that we must perform to cross the bridge that we're at. And we have crossed that bridge. And we have crossed that bridge, and the economy started growing. And the economy is growing. So all those laws will be regained. And all the commitments that were made to the bondholders who submitted to the DDEP are being paid. We paid the first, the second, the third, the fourth. The NDC paid recently, I think the 19th or so of this month. And they wanted to sneak in some glory for themselves over there, but we set the record straight that the protocol for making those payments have been put in place, buffers were created, and therefore it was just a matter of supervising the payment, and they haven't come to do anything extraordinary new. They just came to supervise what system is in motion to manage that. So that's good. So that's how we got there. But I was telling you that there hasn't been any case, okay, if we have very serious-minded people listening, and so if people can intervene. I think yesterday Dr. Kwachi from IEA yesterday texted to your program if he's listening. But we haven't, he can provide some insight on this matter. You know, we haven't seen in this Fourth Republic a government takes an economy that goes down and they have managed to bring the economy back. We haven't seen that. The slump and then the rise. We haven't seen that. Okay? I'm saying that under a regime where the economy goes down and then they're able to bring it back. We haven't seen that. I just shown you an example where under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, if you go back to former President Mills, may so rest in peace, when he came in 2011, the economy rose to about 11% or so GDP, right? And if we get to that point, from there in 2011, I think 14% or so in 2011, there hasn't been any expansion beyond that 14% that attained in 2011. It was a decline all the way till 2017 when the NDC left office at 3.4. And you wanted to say that with that momentum at 11, you expected that probably they would have built on that, but the economy failed to expand beyond that. It was decline, 11. But here we were. When we took the economy 8.1, we managed till COVID came, but we came back out of the slump of COVID,
so
which is a story.
And we slumped. We had our neighbors, and sometimes we don't want to go
Yeah.
Obviously doing better.
No, that's not entirely true. Annie, we've litigated this matter, but if you want to go there, no problem. But the point I'm making to you, Ghana is unique. Okay, we can compare Ivory Coast and Ghana, but it's not comparable. The Ivory Coast, their central bank, okay, is tied arm and a leg to the central bank of the No, I'm not. When he was doing that, I don't know why you want to go back to issues that are litigated, but I'm just letting you know. I'm letting you know that whilst we manage our central bank, make all our monetary policy decisions here on our own based on the conditions globally, we have to respond. They don't have to. Okay? So that's a unique proposition. It's like we are all independent people, okay, adults in this room, but you still get chop money from your father. That's a distortion in comparing our standard of living. The three of us here, if we are comparing our standard of living and we are earning the same amount, but you get monthly chop money from your father, it's a distortion. You cannot compare to us because you have an extra stream of income we don't have. So you are an outlier. In our case, if you are going to be judged to be a better, somebody who has a better living standard than us, even though we earn the same salary. That's the case with Ivory Coast. And again, Ivory Coast is not exposed in the market like Ghana is. In terms of how we go to the open market, the international market, capital market, okay, to borrow the euro bonds and the rest of it in the market as we do.
That's the advantage we have over
I'm saying that it's an advantage and therefore also a liability when reactions, things happen in the global economy. They are not that exposed. It's like, again...
What's the meaning of exposed here?
Again, in this our example I just gave you, instead of you taking chop money from your father, you have gone to borrow money, okay, from a bank, and we don't know, we haven't taken any loan, but you have taken a loan to buy a house. And you're saying that we all make the same income, but we don't have a house and you have a house.
Okay.
You have gone to borrow a loan. Now, while in good time, in good time when the interest rates are low, okay, you'll be enjoying. But when the interest rate in the market changes and it goes high, you have to pay higher for the loans that you have paid or you have gone to take, we will then be doing fine because we don't have any liability to a bank to pay back with a higher interest rate. So in the market, we are subject to the volatility of the market. They are not to a large extent. Okay, they are not. You understand? So those are the challenges.
Same with Benin, same with Nigeria.
I'm saying that, well, you didn't mention Nigeria, you mentioned Cote d'Ivoire.
I did.
You mentioned Cote d'Ivoire.
I did.
You mentioned Cote d'Ivoire.
I mentioned all of them.
So, but anyway, you don't have time, so let me just say that for you. The point I am making is that we have managed and handed over a growing economy to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. He should build on it. There is a precedent in this Fourth Republic that the New Patriotic Party takes a declining economy, fix it. Kufuor did that. There's a record in this Fourth Republic that the NPP takes a declining economy and fix it. Akufo-Addo did that. We've handed him a growing economy. We handed him a growing economy. He shouldn't describe that economy as a mishandled
You didn't
economy.
answer the question of if you believe in international ratings.
But what difference would that make as far as what we're talking about?
I want to know if you are accepting.
It doesn't matter if I believe in it or not. If you have a point about it.
It does. The economy was rated junk. You accept it?
Right now,
by
is
the
it?
indicators.
Yeah, of course. During the difficulty of COVID, yes. But right now, that's not the same.
Before
rating.
the government took over, where were we? From the junk economy to what?
Before the government took over, there was no COVID. You are creating a difficulty for the conversation. We need, as a country, to progress. Because when we've resolved a conversation, we progress to the next. When you are bringing this in, it's like you are taking us back. This whole COVID matter is not a secret. It happened, you were here, you were covering your nose with a nose mask. So we have litigated the matter. So if today we are talking, going for, you are taking me back to junk and all of that, where is the rating today? Is it the same thing as it was in 2022? Okay, no. So we have progressed. So the assertion of the President, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, is completely convenient. It is political. It's not factual. It is one that he said just to court the sympathy of Labour so they can agree. And Labour was magnanimous. They accepted it. We, when we were leaving office, had increased the base pay by 25%. Nothing has changed between the time we left and February 19th, or when he was having to negotiate with the NTC. He needed to have done better. He needed to have built on the solid foundations that we have had. That for me is where he ought to go. You know, I think that a better excuse for the president would have been that, you know, the MPP just increased the rate by 25%, and at the tail end of that, please accept 10. So maybe next year when I come again to negotiate, then we can do better. If he had done that, it's a better excuse. But to describe a growing economy that you have inherited, that you left in decline, that somebody has built to a point where you were not able to take it. The economy, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama left in 2017. It's not the economy he walked into. He's walked into a much better economy than he left. So how can you describe that as a mishandle of the economy?
Criminally handled.
Absolutely, and then say Ghana is a crime scene. Really? That's not true. What you left was a crime scene.
Okay.
What you left was a crime scene.
Okay.
Was economy that was mismanaged. Economy once upon a time that attained a GDP growth of 14% or so in 2011, and you watched that never cross 15, never cross 14. It came down to 3.4 when he left office. That was economy to be described as having been mismanaged, and not this one that is inherited that is projected to grow and is growing. That is not the economy.
Honorable, in your position, you actually allege that, you know, this COVID conversation will never go away. There were some 21 billion, more than that was accrued from COVID, and about 10 billion of it was diverted. I'm not sure where the 10 billion is or what it was used for, but I'm sure maybe the corruption progress or the corruption fight you want to do, you may retrieve all those funds. But that's what he's saying.
Oh yes, as for the COVID issues, it's an area that this government will not even be forgiven by Ghanaians.
If they abandon it?
If it fails to really bring certain people to book, because there's no denying the fact that a lot of things happen within the COVID area, in respect of how some funds were utilized, and then a lot of things happened. But coming to his write-up and how he is currently painting the picture to Ghanaians. When I listen to Richard sometimes, I see Richard try, in certain respect, okay, Richard says, and people are taking the economy from a state where inflation was 54% to where it is now 22%. Who deserves that credit? Which government was in power when we were at 54%? And which government is in power at the time we were having it at 22%? And what was the inflation rate at the time NDC was leaving power? You see, in certain respect, when the figures look good to him, he picks NDC's figures and compares it with MPP's figures. And in certain respect, he will look at MPP's own figures, but one when it is down, and then he picks one which is up. You understand? Mm-hmm. Now, let me tell you one thing. Look at Richard. Richard is saying that your mama, when he met the labor unions in negotiating for the base rate, mm-hmm, he should have acknowledged the fact that his predecessor gave them 25% and that he's giving them 10%. Let's go back to what MPP offered the Ghanaian worker when they took over in 2017. What was the increment? 0%. And 0%. Yes, MPP offered 0% wage increase, base rate, in 2017 when they took over. It was when they gained 2017, yes. That was the first year you took over. And so, first year you are not in control. You have to be mindful how you increase things. And this is a man who has just taken over. And he's able to offer 10%. And you are comparing his 10% to your last day after you are your 8th year. You are giving your last figure
into elections.
Into elections. In fact, that is even more this because you know when governments are going to elections, they give a lot of things out. And you are comparing that to someone's first year in office. When your first year you gave 0%, and he has given 10%. He should rather be applauded for that. In fact, in 2022, the government of the day cost about 850,000 Ghanaians to be pushed down into the poverty line. 2022. What has happened to this? Nothing has been done to ensure that we have these people at least brought up. He's even trying to take credit for the payment that we did. The president did in respect of the DDEP. 6.08 billion that is paid to people you not have paid monies to. And listen,
So there was the public sector workers' base pay. In 2016, you pegged it at 12.5%, right? 12.5%, which was supposed to have taken effect from 2017. So that's what happened.
So when they came into this subject, what did they offer?
You've already done it.
They implemented what you introduced.
No, so did they offer anything to Ghanaians?
Yeah, but your introduction was supposed to have
but you see, a government
taken effect in 2017, so they didn't have to.
So that budget was ready for them.
Yes.
And so what did they do? No, but if you look at it, there was a place they offered 2017 0%. So does it mean 2017 you never went into negotiation?
In 2017, as in when they had to go on the negotiation table. Okay, let me check.
If government living power would make projections for the next, but when you come, the labor will still meet you. You understand, and push for their bit of it. If you check, now you are talking about an economy where we are locked out of the international market. In fact, it's now that they are opening the doors small for us. And you are telling us you are leaving us a better economy. When you were taking over the Ghanaian economy, you could go on a borrowing spree. In fact, the finance minister then, Kenofori Atta, had a field day in his borrowing endeavors. In fact, left, right, and center, he was borrowing. What made it possible for you to borrow at the time? It was because of the economy you inherited at the time. What is making it impossible for John Mahama to do the same, or for Atu Forsen to do the same today? It's because of the economy you are living for us. And how can you describe today's economy that has locked the doors on us as a better economy than the one that you took over? In fact, John Mahama is one of the presidents that Ghanaians will always cherish because he has been truthful to Ghanaians. He took over the economy and he's telling them that, look, 83 plus, before initially we were even at 160 something ministers. But he says he is bringing it down to 60 ministers and he has stuck to that figure. In fact, up to now we even have less than 60 ministers. This is somebody who has a pity on the purse. And because he has been in that seat before and he knows what it entails. Now you are leaving us an economy which has an interest rate of 22%, an inflation rate of 22%. Meanwhile, you took an economy that had a far lesser inflation rate at the time. Now, if you look at the Bank of Ghana itself, how much debt is Bank of Ghana leaving Ghanaians? You understand? Over 60 billion. In 2022, what has happened to us? It means that we are worse off. That is the bank of our last resort. And now it's in distress. And this is what we are handing to us as a country. And you expect us to pat you on the back and say you've done well.
Okay, so Mark from USA has done some research for us. He says that in 2017, beyond what you introduced, the minimum pay increased in Ghana was 10% for public sector employees, according to the information available to Ghana Web and other sources. Key points about the 2017 minimum wage increase in Ghana, that's 10% increase, and then sector-affected public sector employees. So that's a research that's been sent by...
So that was offered by who?
In 2017.
Yes.
Yes.
So
there was a 10% increase. So I'm sure that, okay, he didn't add the date it took effect, which we have to check that as
yes,
well.
we also have to be sure, because the government of the day always has its own figures.
Yes.
You understand? You can't change what has been announced before you took over. You understand? But what you offer is always what is an issue. So,
can I just help you?
No, you can come in.
If you go to the website of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission,
okay,
you will see that in 2017 there was a base pay increase of 12.5.
Okay.
So that matter, just move on from that.
Okay.
You know?
And that projection was done by...
Hold on, in 2017.
Yeah, it took effect in 2017, 12.5 increase.
That is what I actually said.
She read 10%.
That is in 2017.
Yes.
And it was a projection
apart
from the
that
previous...
12.5, was there any other percentage of increase in 2017?
By the government of the day?
Yes, it's a negotiation that was undertaken and an increase across board of base pay of 12.5.
No, but that was before. By the information you have, in 2017, is it only 12.5 that is captured in 2017?
Yes, that's what the communique said.
Okay, so then it means that you are right about the 0%.
That is what I'm saying, because this came from 2016. This was the projection of
record from 2017. Oh, sorry.
So now let's ask ourselves, when you were living last year,
you are on the Fair Wages and Salaries
What was the
Commission
projection
website.
you gave to Ghanaians?
Okay.
What did you promise Ghanaians when you were living?
You see, what you need to realize is that, you know, the estimate of what increment would come. Okay. Is for a period. Okay. So when you estimate for the next year, it has to take effect. You understand?
Okay, does it mean that when you were exiting,
you never projected.
You didn't project?
You
don't have to project necessarily. You can negotiate in the same year.
Because we are saying that.
Right. Hold on. Okay. You can negotiate in the same year, okay, and make it retrospective. Under the NDC, they have negotiated the same year. Sometimes in the middle of the year, you negotiate and then you take retrospective effect. So it's not a question of estimating or agreeing ahead, no, but it is proper, okay, for the government that is coming into office, consistent with the argument the NDC is making, to say that you have lost an election and so therefore don't employ anybody. But they, in 2017 and 2016, as late in the day as 23rd December, they were negotiating with organized labor to increase their base pay by 10%.
Okay.
That's what they were doing. Okay. For a government that is coming in to come and pay. So they are putting a debt on their book to come and pay. And he's now trying to claim credit that they negotiated a deal and we didn't have to.
Okay.
When you have negotiated 10% and we have to pay it, you are saying that.
So is that the same strategy you are using with respect to the public sector workers that you have employed and you expect them to go and pay?
You are the ones who are doing criminal things and you are telling somebody is doing.
Rigid, I am
you
very
manage
sure.
the economy criminally.
Look, I am very sure that by the time, you see, when the order started, if you look at your mama's commitment towards actually annetting the level of corruption that has gone on under the MPP government, the first step was the setting up of the oral body, which has finished its work. It was merely a fact-finding mission. And if you look at the work they did, in fact, it sent even the MPP people running, because this was an institution that was not to do any prosecution. It never even did any investigation. It was just to gather information. But if you look at the level of corruption that has come out as a result of their work, it just tells you that we only have to wait for the right time. I have the firmest belief that your mama, in fact, some people are saying it, that even if your mama succeeds in holding corrupt officers under the XY administration to account and even does nothing, they will be satisfied. In fact, there are a lot of Ghanaians who believe that, because a lot of people have that feeling that a lot went under the water and then we can't allow things to remain the way they are. And so Richie should just wait. It's just too early in the day for him to expect so much from John Mahama. In fact, at the moment, if you even speak to the sector ministers, I have a friend at the Ministry of Finance who is telling me that the kind of things they are unearthing at the Ministry of Finance is mind-boggling. And so, Richard, we are not in a haste. And we are not here to persecute. In fact, we will use the right procedures and ensure that the Ghanaian taxpayer is not badly dealt with in terms of some of these things. Richard, now, and let me say something. You see, he's talking about a lot of figures that they left the government with. Now, this was an administration that was living, that had gone into contract with Ghanaians and other international investors. And some of them, they were promised an interest rate of around 29%. Now you turn your back and tell them that you can no longer pay them 29% interest rate. If they are ready, you can give them 9%. And you even tell them that their investments which are due in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, they will no longer be getting it. They should now be prepared to have their monies back in, say, 10, 15 years. And you think this one has painted a good picture about the Ghanaian economy to the external investor. And so, Richard...
Now, what are you referring to?
No, Richard, what I'm telling you is that...
the money...
No, I'm talking about the duration of the
but what duration, what money are you referring to? What loan, what contract are you talking about?
No, what was the interest rate you promised? What was the interest rate based on which you went into agreement with Ghanaians before the DGEP onset? It was 29%. People who had bought bonds. They were promised some interest rate. You took over. And then you slashed the figure and you even told them that the duration within which they will get their monies, will be extended. And they were forced to swallow it.
But that's the nature of DDEP, actually.
Yes, that was it. And this has actually painted us in a bad light in terms of the investor community. And you are telling us you are living as a better economy. That's what I'm trying to let you know. That would not be a better economy you are living as. Oh, you are not getting it.
I can't get it. You yourself, you are not getting the thing you're saying. Because the point you are saying...
No, but even in your write-up, you stated DDEP.
Yes.
Yes, so that's the point he's
but,
making.
But when I stated DDEP, you saw that I stated 2.86 billion, which is a residual benefit that we are making from the external component of it. The domestic component of the DDEP was a necessary and a painful thing.
Why?
Yes. Because you got to a point, okay, and as a country, no, it's not about who took us. The debt that had ballooned to the point that it's got to, it's not a debt brought on by Akufo-Addo single-handedly. The point, no, it's not Akufo-Addo's debt single-handedly.
Okay, it's scheduled for it.
What I'm talking about is a legacy debt over a period of time, which Nkrumah contributed to, everybody contributed to that point. And we have added to it. You get it?
How much did you add to?
That's immaterial. I don't know why you keep asking that question.
From
I'm telling you a bucket of debt of the country
over 600
that
billion
needed to be restructured. Okay? And you know, one of the key things, okay, sometimes when we have this conversation we don't pay attention to is that your debt to GDP is not only a function of borrowing, it's also...
So this is the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission. Communique.
Yes, that's for 2017.
This is for 2017.
Yes, 12 point.
Yeah, this was what Richard was actually reading from.
So, Annie, so the point I'm saying is that it's key that the debt to GDP ratio of a country is not only a function of borrowing, it's also a function of growth. And you know what happened during COVID, right? The economic growth slumped. Just hold on. Just hold on.
You make the excuse.
I'm not making an excuse. I'm just saying
and
to you.
then you get into COVID that after borrowing that
and
we were
if you
expecting
just
it to help us
listen,
we slumped due to COVID.
You know, what I'm saying is that your debt to GDP ratio, which then was a problem and you had to do DDEP to bring your debt to sustainable level, is not only a function of borrowing. So if somebody said that you got to that point with our debt being high simply because you have borrowed, it's not factual, because it's also a function of growth. And COVID, what it did was that your economic performance and growth slumped. In 2020, what did we record? We recorded 0.5% GDP growth. Okay, from a 6.5.
You are making this assertion.
No,
but let me tell you.
Allow him because it was system.
But I'm making a point. Let me just
let
me conclude for you. So the point I'm making is that we've always lost sight of the growth deficit, which would have reduced the debt to GDP in terms of the expansion of the economy. All right, that was curtailed. So that aspect was held constant or even at a negative. And then so everything you were borrowing then became a factor in assessing your debt to GDP ratio. And so that is the effect of COVID that we need to see.
COVID on its own gave us money. Which we could have used that money that came in from, apart from the borrowing.
We have answered that question.
We could have used that money we got from COVID to tackle the COVID problem.
No. We have answered that question. The COVID monies that came, they are in government now. They are going to audit it and show what happened with that money. Those monies were targeted at certain activities around the economy. The growth of your economy is not an injection of grants and those things. That's not what. It is production that grows your economy. It's production. So if you have 21 billion that comes into your economy and it is supposed to do social interventions and to support other things rather than drive growth, your economy will not grow necessarily because you have 21 billion in the economy.
Did not go into any production. It just went for
expenditure.
Not recurrent.
Now listen, where that money would have gone into supporting, what was done by GEA now to support small enterprises to regain back from the slump of COVID. Those are recovery investments. Okay, so those investments will have to attain a certain level that they were before.
Richard.
So the point is very clear that we need to appreciate that our debt is not exclusively a function of borrowing, it's also a function of growth.
Okay.
And we don't talk about that much.
Okay, Abdul.
Richard, you are living as an economy that has one of our key sectors, the cocoa sector, on its knees. Is that a better economy you are living for us? You see, if you take the economic sector by sector, in fact, today our cocoa sector is in comatose.
I wonder what my boss is even doing at Cocoa Board.
I was even surprised that he took up that route.
Don't say that.
Oh no, but it's true. Look at the produced by PVC. In fact, at some point, their vehicles were being towed away by financial institutions. They can't even service their loans. And 8 months, workers were not being paid. They couldn't just even manage to pay salaries. And this was a sector that was in its highest heights before he took over in 2017. And so anything, I don't know, everything that NPP took from NDC, you left it in a worse shape than you came to meet it.
Well, you're mentioning PVC?
Yeah, produced by cocoa.
What happened with the cocoa sector when we took over?
Well, we could go. No, we could. Yeah. What? You could go to. We could still have syndicated loan. In fact, the very year you took over, you had syndicated loan.
800,000 tons.
Yeah, just address the fact that the economy you are inheriting, okay, on aggregate, is a much better economy than you give us.
No, but you can't tell him what to say because of time.
No, you even ask him.
He's run
an economy that
time.
even cannot pay its debt. You see, Richie, you know every.
We are paying our debt.
Ambassador Sampiale said I should tell you that the Ghanaians are tired of this line of arguments. Ghanaians are listening to you, and there's a bunch of and those who voted against you. This country must be allowed to breathe small.
No, the country is breathing.
Is it?
And in my view, in time, Ghanaians will appreciate what was done. Now it is honeymoon.
Why don't you?
He says, stop disturbing my director and get me something. I'll mention that one.
Well,
yeah, so you see, so the truth is, my brother doesn't have much to say.
No, Richard.
Because the president has committed him.
Oh no, the president. You see, that's what I'm saying. That you see, if you have a president like John Dramani Mahama that we have,
who is prepared a better economy than what he left to be criminally handled.
You are saying
this economy is better than what he left in 2016.
And economy that cannot pay.
There is no dispute about it. I just gave you the numbers. There's more to be given. The tragedies we faced under Akufo-Addo are peculiar. He didn't face those. The global conditions.
You don't necessarily listen. When we had Dumso, you may say it's all global, but it was even more vital than you can think of. Anything.
Yes, because it was affecting the main businesses.
For the entire period of John Mahama's first tenure, it was not by Dumso, and he took that decision to invest in the energy sector.
Dumso is not spiritual. Dumso is not natural occurrence. It's not
just as
Dumso is self-induced.
Just as
you created it.
Just as
you couldn't manage the economy.
Just as it also only Ghana which came out of COVID bruised. That is why he was.
Okay, we're wrapping up.
America is bruised.
Yeah, but
now you see what happened to the conservatives in UK.
Are you now comparing our economy to America's economy?
But we live in a global environment. I'm not comparing it to them. I'm telling you evidence of collapse and decline.
So
how can't you compare that to Benin, Nigeria, Togo? My suggestion is that,
for instance, don't give us.
Those are economies that are trapped. You can compare us to Nigeria, okay? You can compare us to the French country. It's not a complete, it's a distortion, as I told you earlier.
So I mentioned Nigeria, but you refuse to compare.
Nigeria, look at Ghana's economy in Nigeria. Ghana, we're not doing badly compared to Nigeria at all. We're not doing badly at all.
Abdul, please land. Our time is up.
So Richard, that's what I'm saying. When you're choosing your figures, just be sincere with the figures.
But I mean, is there anything to dispute?
Yeah, I told you.
Didn't we leave
54, when you say you are moving something from a point to a point, and you are comparing two regimes, be fair to the two regimes. That's what I was saying. So you don't use 54% of inflation to 22% of inflation when both figures were within your regime.
Oh,
yeah, you use what we left you, the inflation where we left you, and compare it with what you are leaving us.
No, in this comparison, I didn't talk about.
No, you did. She read it.
I didn't talk about inflation necessarily, but I told you that all the macroeconomic.
Hold
on. It was intentional. all the macroeconomic indicators were trending in the positive. Was that not what you read? Huh?
Okay.
Was that not you read?
Okay, so Uncle Sam,
so let me ask you a question. Let me ask you. If you took,
you had a problem and it went to 54%, 54.1%. If now it has been declining.
If you took an economy which had an interest rate of say 14%, and you are living at 22%, is it trending downwards?
If you take the MPP and give us another 2 years in office, you would have attained a single-digit inflation.
Which 2 years?
I mean, like assuming that the MPP is still in power, would have attained a single-digit inflation. You know,
you came to almost 15% at some point.
No, but
and you have gone back to 22%.
We actually attained single-digit inflation. We attained single-digit inflation.
And you've gone back. So what shows that you are coming back?
And the reason, 2019.
Annie, I want to.
But the point I am making to him is that what cost us? What cost us is COVID.
So the NDC is not happy because you have taken all his time. Every time
my brother, we are giving him a city.
There was a verdict by Ghanaians on how the economy was managed, and I would defer to the statement made by the current Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Amakofibo, when he was then the deputy
minority leader.
In fact, that statement sums up the Ghanaian marking or assessment of what the MPP did in their 8-year tenure. And so, if Richard wants to know what they left for us, what they did in their last 8 years, I would ask him to go back to the statement made by the current Lands and Natural Resources Minister and how he summed up the entire 8-year regime of the MPP government. In fact, there could be nothing better than that. And so, we don't need articles from Richard now to tell us the economy they left us. The vote was clear. You have suffered the biggest defeat in the history of the Ghanaian.
That's right.
Yes, you've suffered.
Annie,
all right.
Annie, just to conclude, okay?
You don't have time.
It's my brother.
They'll take you off air.
No, I beg you. Just important point. You see, the key thing that cost us, okay, is from us largely. All right. You know, Honorable Jogate went to NIB yesterday. And he went to set the record straight. This SkyTrain thing that was said to have been some wastage of some 2 million paid for no reason. It's clear that government didn't lose any money. But you see, the people at that ministry, people His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo put in places, they cost us. Because when we were having this conversation, in leading to the election and all the period, they could have just given us that information Honorable Jogate went to give, that it was a BOT, but they kept that information to themselves. So across board, agencies, ministries, they failed to give our communicators information.
So what was the benefit of the BOT?
So the point is that,
what was the benefit of the BOT?
He went yesterday, NIB gave them the fact that government did not lose a penny. What money may have been lost is by the private person who was supposed to build that, run it and hand it over to government. If they had given us that information, Ghanaians would have known that the perception of corruption that the NDC is foisting on the Akufo-Addo government is not true.
Well, it's good
but they failed to give us that information. And now he's going to give that information to exonerate himself. But we needed that information to prosecute
was even part of the political.
Ghanaians would have seen that the government was not corrupt.
Okay.
That's one of the deficits. In fact, you need to take that advice.
So we're back tomorrow.
No, that's fine. But Jogate was still part of the political class.
I'm actually giving the NDC an
Jogate
advice.
was still part of the political class.
I'm saying that that's a defect, and he ought to be blamed for that. And the people who work there, if they had given that information to our communicators, would have told Ghanaians, fair. But the NDC must
thank you for making
that.
time with us.
The NDC must learn from that.
We haven't concluded the investigations. This is your own conclusion.
Thank you.
But I'm saying that he has set the record straight.
No, but that cannot.